Good morning, guys. It's what I do when the store's shut down. So, got a guy here for some salt for some of these treads. So our store, Sensing side, is closed, but there's always guys that need product, need some salt. They're wrapping up some jobs here and there, and I'll come in, help the guys out. Well, I can't reach those in there. I'm not bringing a forklift out here, because the forklift out here would get stuck. In a matter of 2 seconds, I'd be stuck. So, I'm just gonna have to move a couple pallets. There we go. So this one got that plastic wrap off. This one's gonna get thrown off by hand. Alright, well, I got everyone loaded that needed loaded. The other thing, so I come in obviously early this morning and it's dark. Wanted to show you guys in the daytime. Yesterday, one of our trucks, I get that terrible call, one of our trucks was in an accident. And it's a sinking feeling. Like, it's hard to explain, but it's the worst feeling ever because you just don't know. It's like you get this text or this call, it's like, hey, one of our trucks is in an accident. What do? You know, it's like, that's all that is there, and you just start panicking. It's like, what is it? How bad is it? Was anybody hurt? You know, all these things start going through your head. And some of it is because you hear all these horror stories of these, you know, companies getting shut down and this and that and everything else. Well, I can say thankfully with this accident, it wasn't our fault. I have dash cam footage to prove it, which is key. And it wasn't a bad accident, so nobody was hurt. But it could have been a lot worse. I'm here at the truck shop now. I'm gonna go in and show you guys. So I haven't even seen it yet, but we'll go in and check it out, and then I'll show you the dash cam footage. Let's check this out. It's noisy in here. These guys are plugging away, and I will show you that floor too. Here it is. So, give you a little idea what happened. Our truck was turning left, and a small single axle dump truck did not see it or something and passed him as he was turning left. So just as he was turning left, it passed him, and here's what happened. Nasty. This thing obviously was sticking straight out the front. Underneath, we looked. Pop this hood here again real quick. So we inspected it, and nothing. You just don't know. Oh. So just out of kind of safety, we put in a different rim and tire on, just because of the hit that tire took. We don't know what happened, if it damaged beads on the tire. I just don't know. But looking at everything, the guys inspected everything. I didn't get to real close up myself yet, but that's what I'm doing now. And you just look for any movement, anything that got shifted. By looking at the video, it was a very hard hit. We were probably going to get this thing aligned to make sure. It doesn't look like anything major. So sometimes you can see those U-bolts in there. They get shifted or they'll just literally break. Nothing's bent that we can see. This is a problem. That's actually, I'll just give you guys a little warning. That, my friends, is out of service. And it's a very common problem. If you have a Kenworth, more than likely, your tire is gonna be rubbing. It just happens. So you gotta really watch that adjustment. And what we do is we'll make it right, and then we'll throw some paint on it just to make it look that it is not fresh. Obviously, we're gonna need a new bumper because this thing was way tweaked. It could have been a lot worse, guys. Could have been a lot worse. You can see the green. Could have been a lot worse. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. That's always one of the first questions. Was the guy hurt? How bad was he hurt? Obviously, it's gonna take a new hood. This stuff can't be patched up. I mean, you could, but it takes a lot of time, a lot of work. Let's go see where these guys are making all this noise. Show you guys the floor. You can see half of it's in. This subfloor, sorry, this is the bearings. And this has the full length bearings. And I love the full length bearings. Definitely makes the floor work a little bit harder. But once you get some wear on the floor, it'll run just as nice as these regular individual bearings. But the full length bearings, I feel, help protect the floor. It helps protect the subfloor. Just gives a lot. I don't know, I feel it just protects everything a lot better. So all of our trailers, we always do full length subfloor. So you can see the slats here, pretty good. This is actually a brand new floor. It's just been sitting for quite a while. But these slats go in individually, and then back here, they are drilling and tapping in these screws. So this is what makes the floor walk. So it's pretty cool. They'll just start a slat back here and run it right up there. And I'll show you real quick. Here's where they're welded. This has an extra wear plate on here, and it's welded from factory, so you still have the seal in there. You can do this after, but then you oftentimes burn this seal. So there you have it. So one other thing with this thing, we did not tow it back. We drove it right back. I was very concerned about driving it back, but I was assured that everything looks good under there. So they drove it back. We're gonna get it aligned. It's always nicer when you don't have to tow, which if we would have had to tow it, we would have towed it ourselves. That saves us a lot of money right there. Now we just have the hassle of dealing with the insurance company, things like that. This one's gonna be actually our first claim that we run through. We're not gonna run it through our insurance company. We're actually more self-insured through a captive group, but we're gonna have to be working with a insurance company, the other insurance company, or the guy that hit us. So hopefully they take full responsibility and we don't have to show them even dash cam footage because it's pretty obvious. So I was chatting with Trevor, and we'll go over and look at the tire, but he's saying actually the steering wheel is turned a little bit, so something gave inside that steering gearbox, so that's gonna have to get replaced. And then he's gonna show us the tire and rim that they took off, and that did get damaged as well. Thought there wasn't that much damage on it when we replaced it, but yes, there was. So oh yeah,
so right here, see that?
Yep.
See how deep that is? There's actually, if you feel with your hand, there's a divot right there. It's hardly anything, but you can feel where there's damage to that, and where it hit here. See how much impact?
Yeah, right. Where did I feel that? There's right
right in there. But that's so deep, I can't reuse this tire.
Yeah.
Because it'll just keep peeling. Plus, that's not legal to have a flap like that.
Well, coming down that.
Right. And then see how this is where his other rim contacted.
Yep.
And I was rolling it around the other day. I got to put it on a spindle, but it looks like this is bent in right here.
Do you think the belt and the tires probably?
Oh, I'd imagine that's bulging.
Damaged.
There. So you feel that. No, I can't run that fair.
Yeah.
That much weight hitting that thing. Yep.
Do we have some of those?
Yep.
We have the rims and the tires?
Yeah, I got it all in stock.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think I'm down to my last one. So I'll have to do another order of those.
Alrighty. Well, it gives you an idea. Like I said, guys, it could have been a lot worse. Thankfully, it wasn't. Now we just got to get that thing back on the road. That truck is a, what is that truck? A 2016, I think? 14. 2014 glider. Hey, he's bringing rubber in the shop. Sliding that floor in. So yeah, like I said, this truck is a 2014 glider, cat engine. I bought this truck out of Ohio. It's been a solid truck for us. We bought this thing several years ago, and just day after day, solid truck.
So in one of Justin's last videos, he kind of walked around the shop a little bit and showed this truck. Well, the door was off this truck, so I figured I'd tell you why. So these Peterbilts, and this one and the black one that we just picked up, the 2013, I believe it is, we had noticed that the doors didn't line up. So if I close this door, you can see right up there that the top is just a little farther away than it is down here. And we've adjusted this since, but right here, there was actually more room between it than there was right here. So the hinge had actually worked like out in the top to where that right there was actually literally touching it. And you could see out that corner. So the driver was actually putting like a rag in there to keep it from whistling on both sides of the trucks. So this is a 2019 glider, and already that thing had worn to where that whole door was sagging down. So we got it adjusted. We got new seals on it for them. Both the drivers and the passenger door got new seals and adjusted. See that right there? That's got quite a bit more room than it had before. Same thing on this side. This had worked its way out to where this was opening up and not allowing that top corner to seal. I figured I'd let you know what that door is off for. Over here, it's a very beautiful truck too. We had wrecked a half fender when we hit a deer. Thankfully, that was about the only thing that got wrecked. We got these quarter fenders on, which they look okay, but this truck just, it looks so much nicer with the quarter fenders on. So here in just a little bit, we'll be putting some half fenders on and I don't know, doing something, but I'll show you that later. Justin, I think, showed you that one. That was a shame. But over here on this Peerless, we had this on beans for the bean season. When it came off bean season, we actually, and you can see the new panel, so that's all hooked in there. One of the guys have been working on that. It wore through like right here. So this is just a very thin panel. It's amazing how thin these walls are, but they hold. I mean, they're awesome trailers for what material is here. But we're just finishing up. We've got all the hooks in. I believe he's got everything hooked up to the top. Yep, looks like it. We got 3 posts that we took apart and we had to clean. So there's about this tall behind it is the beam that runs all the way up. You can see where the line of hooks is. So we needle scaled all that. Needle scaled all this because there was actually rust starting up in here, was pushing this angle out. So we cut that angle off there, got that all set, and now we just need to do little things like put the light back on. This is getting some different tires, going to be going down south with the driver Justin had mentioned there in the last video. So I figured I'd show you what we got done on that. That wasn't actually as bad as I think I was imagining. It was actually quite simple to do. We had never gotten into these posts and panels before because we just haven't had that many of them. Now we do have all these
belt trailers that are a post and panel. We haven't, being newer, we haven't gotten into really doing anything with them, and these are a little bit different than I think this is going to be, because these here have the main beam right down along the bottom, and I think that's great. But these here are just a little bit different frame wise. They've got a beam here, but they've got this structure that goes all the way up, and you've got a very long line hooks right there. So that's going to be interesting if we ever have to get into that. This, like I said, was not as bad as I thought it would be. My biggest concern on this trailer is that there is just a little bit of corrosion. If you look down through here, every once in a while you'll see one of these hooks popped, and we've got to go down through and check them. See, like right there, that little hook head, which should look like that, is not there anymore. So just the wonders of corrosion. This truck here, that is getting a set of injector O-rings. It's a Series 60 Detroit. This is the only Detroit we have. I know Justin's talked about it. I've talked about it before, but the turbo was lagging. It wasn't winding up very fast, so that was taken off and rebuilt by a local company here that actually I've been dealing with for several years, and we do pretty good through them. The air compressor's off. That was pushing quite a bit of oil and really wasn't building the air as fast as I like to see them. But we've got injector O-rings to do in that, because we replaced all the check valves, we replaced the fuel pump, and you would go to start it after sitting overnight and it would just crank. It had lost its prime due to, we found when we pulled the injectors out, we found that the bottom O-ring in it actually was ate up, and so it was letting the fuel back out. So that truck there is getting some injector O-rings put in it. That trailer there is just in for some lights. This here, trailer 319, is not the trailer that was in here the other day. It's in the exact same spot, and we're doing the exact same thing to it. But these trailers are, this is a 2014, and we are just starting to do bushings in these axles. SAF Holland, we don't put on our trailers anymore. They weren't holding up like the Hendrickson did, so we had switched all the trailers Justin gets now are Hendrickson suspension. I'm not sure the numbers on them, but these are Hollands, and they updated them a while back. They had a problem where they were cracking right here where they weld to the axle beam or the axle tube. So this is the third trailer this fall that we've put the bushings in. So for, let's see, 14, is that a 8-year-old trailer? It still looks really good. The floor has been flipped one time. This is actually the first Titan I ever drove when I drove for these guys. First Titan I got to pull, and it was only a couple months old. So for a kid my age to be able to pull a nice trailer like that, that was pretty cool. 116 is just a few days away from getting out, and 144 is hiding back there, just about finished. I think I'll let Justin go through that and show you all what we did to that.
Well, good morning, guys. Hope you enjoyed Trevor's shop tour. I'm back in the shop this morning, just dropping off some parts that I picked up for the guys in Rochester for one of our Detroits for this truck 140. I also wanted to follow up real quick on truck 147. So that's the glider that was in an accident, right? I was talking about earlier. This is where it gets super frustrating, right? So this has happened a couple weeks ago. The insurance adjuster's still not out. I won't name names of the insurance company, but it's frustrating. So one truck, one little accident, one little fender, and the truck's down. And you can't really do much with this till the adjuster comes out and takes a look at it. And it's not that we're turning it in for our insurance, it's for their insurance. So hopefully we can get some answers soon. It's super frustrating, but a nice Kenworth truck that's down for months. That's gonna do it for this video. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.